I'm wondering, like, if you're gonna fight him, where would you fight him at, number one? And number two, are you saying that from 140 to 147, you're willing to fluctuate and move back and forth as opposed to just moving up and weight or whatever? What's your intent?
Well, my intent, look at my strength and conditioning coach, he said that he believes that I can make 140 comfortably. You know, I trust, you know, the people, my team around me. If their opportunity presents itself, I would love to fight Shakur.
Ryan Garcia completely ignited a firestorm during his explosive appearance on Stephen A. Smith's live show, boldly declaring that he would gladly fight Shakur Stevenson at 140 pounds if the so-called running track star is truly willing to step up and face him.
Oh, I want that. If the opportunity presents itself, I just want boxing to be at the top. You know, I want to make these fights happen, and I know I could beat these guys.
Garcia doubled down by making it clear that he believes he now controls the division and possesses enough star power to force the biggest fights in boxing into existence. He confidently described himself as the sport's ultimate attraction, arguing that his popularity, massive audience reach,
and you know, I've always had the following, I've always had, you know, all the opportunities you can have as a superstar. You know, now that I have this piece that I kind of was missing, of course I would love to keep fighting and kind of carry boxing. I actually lead this generation of young fighters of popularity and now of being a world champion. So I have all the opportunities to become the face of boxing, but now I just have to prove it with my dedication and all my fights are going to be lined up. I have to do it now. I would love to defend my title, and if that happens, let's do that too.
Shakur Stevenson wasted absolutely no time responding to Garcia's comments, firing back with a chilling prediction that immediately turned the rivalry from entertainment into something much more personal and dangerous.
Shakur beating him though. Yo, I do have you beating him.
I will whoop your ass.
I'll pop that. Yeah, right back in that mouth. I'll have you looking like a saber gap tooth tiger. I'll do you dirty, bro. Don't lie, bro.
You suck.
You though. Oh my, here we go. Hey, not the same fighter. Hey, not the same fighter. Not the same. Hey, when I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say? When I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say?
I was there.
Hey, no, when I put a beat on you. I'm talking about you. You got no power. You got no power.
And you lost. And
okay,
you still scared him to this day.
No, you. Bro, I'm gonna knock that gap right back in your mouth. I'm gonna knock that gap into your mouth again. Hey, you fixed the team. You fixed the team. But I'm gonna knock that right back in.
Even before the explosive live television call-out, the rivalry between the two fighters had already reached dangerous levels during a tense face-to-face confrontation. The meeting quickly spiraled out of control as both men exchanged savage insults, aggressive threats,
and give them what they want. You want a bad dude? I'll give you a bad dude. You know, I'm a killer. I have the killer instinct, so it's kind of you lose the killer instinct.
You do want to hurt this person.
Yeah.
Refusing to show any fear or hesitation, Ryan Garcia reminded everyone of the dangerous side of his personality that once made him one of boxing's most feared young stars. Garcia warned that his ruthless mindset has officially returned and insisted that he is mentally prepared to inflict real damage inside the ring.
Honestly, for me personally, I feel like I'm like the best fighter in boxing. And I don't like mean this in no disrespectful way, because I got a lot of fighters in boxing that I still watch to this day that I like. And I'm like, okay, I'm still this. So Usyk, I love Usyk. I love Bivol. I love them Eastern European styles. But for me, like, I just feel like I'm a fighter that could do it all. Like, I can do it all. Like, whatever needs to be done to get the job done, I can do that. So some nights you might see I might outbox people. Then some nights I might stand there and beat a guy up and beat them at their own game. So I think for me, I'm the most complete fighter.
At the same time, Shakur Stevenson boldly declared himself the absolute peak of the sport, describing his skill set as untouchable and impossible to replicate. Stevenson argued that his adaptability separates him from every other fighter in boxing today.
Did he make 40 again?
He said he could. He the one who came out and said, like, let's fight at 140. He said that. So if he said that, it's like, okay, you can make the weight then.
Turning the pressure directly back onto his rival, Stevenson openly welcomed the challenge and demanded that Garcia prove he is serious. Since the idea of fighting at the higher weight class originally came from Garcia, Stevenson insisted that Ryan now has no excuses left. He challenged him to officially step forward.
Art. That was art. That's boxing at the highest level. And
I'm fascinated because now they're talking about him and Ryan Garcia. I am fascinated to watch that fight because Shakur's a different animal. Ryan looked amazing in that fight. I mean, he looked amazing. I mean, he looked so fast, and it was a beautiful fight to watch. But that's an interesting fight. I like that fight. Shakur and him, I like that fight a lot. Because Shakur's just a different animal. You're dealing with a whole different kind of skills.
Even some of the biggest names in combat sports have become fascinated by the escalating tension and stylistic clash between these two fighters. Joe Rogan admitted that he is deeply intrigued by the matchup because of the dramatic contrast in styles. However, Rogan also warned that Garcia would be stepping into the ring with a completely different kind of fighter if he faces Stevenson.
Shakur, listen, I went down to camp before he fought Teofimo, and I seen his focus and the level of, intense training he was doing. And I said, I don't know it all, but I know Shakur gonna whoop Teofimo's ass. I tweeted that way before the fight, and he went out there and did it.
Right.
Shakur got a jab. Shakur got head movement. Shakur got defense. Shakur knows range. Shakur have good legs. So I look at that fight like it's not gonna be as a competitive fight like everybody think, because if Ryan get careless, he's gonna get.
Adding even more fuel to the fire, pound-for-pound superstar Terrence Crawford broke down the technical realities of what he believes would happen if Garcia and Stevenson finally fought. Crawford made a brutally honest prediction, claiming the fight might not even be competitive because Garcia's reckless habits and defensive flaws would leave him exposed to a devastating counterpunching masterclass.
Speed is extraordinary. He relies on it a lot. But, I mean, that's not a knock. That's just like if you had it, everybody should rely on that, man.
Shakur's not slow.
Nuts. Shakur's a different animal.
That's what I'm saying.
Different. Well, a lot of people thought Devin Haney was different, though, right? A lot of people thought Devin Haney was going to give him real problems. When he dropped Devin early with a left hook, everybody was like, oh, this is different. I wish he didn't have a positive drug test in that fight, because that fucking tainted everything.
Yeah. They know each other far too well. I think him and Devin fought each other the most out of all of them. Shakur and Ryan fought as well, which Shakur won all the times that they fought. But I just think, him and Devin, the history of it, Devin came in there overconfident. Ryan, being juiced up, added a little whatever it did, but you can't take away from him landing the punches that he was landing. You can't take away from the performance that he was doing. But when you on steroids, that add to.
It definitely.
Adding even more fuel to the fire, pound-for-pound superstar Terrence Crawford broke down the technical realities of what he believes would happen if Garcia and Stevenson finally fought. Crawford made a brutally honest prediction, claiming the fight might not even be competitive because Garcia's reckless habits and defensive flaws would leave him exposed to a devastating counterpunching masterclass. Crawford believes Stevenson's timing, precision, and ring IQ could systematically punish Garcia every time he overcommits offensively.
The Shakur fight, how does it end in your opinion? Decision, knockout?
We'll hit him with a body shot, he's done.
Why the body shot?
He can't take this body shot. We already know.
Really?
Yeah, and he doesn't have a better jab than my son. My son has an awesome jab. We beat him in the amateurs, okay, with the jabs. When Ryan was young, Ryan was only 16 years old. But he qualified 17, 18 with Shakur. Shakur was on that level. So if you're within 2 years, they're gonna put you in that category. Okay, and I said, Ryan, we didn't know Shakur, they didn't know us. But I said, Ryan, let's work on that jab. Ryan was throwing that beautiful jab, pop, pop, pop. I said, okay, that's what we're gonna work on. Let's start off there. My God, wait, let me finish. That jab was awesome. Shakur never.
The tension intensified even further as Henry Garcia passionately defended his family legacy against critics constantly questioning their boxing credibility. Clearly frustrated, he reminded the public of the brutal sacrifices and struggles they endured on the road to the top.
Shit, since 7 years old, we've been kicking. We've been winning a lot of nationals. Try to win, train a guy, and try to win one national, and see what happens. Try. We won 15, and my other son won 7, Shakur Garcia. It's hard. You gotta go through the district, you gotta go through the state, you gotta go through the regional, the state, the regional, and then you gotta go through a national. You gotta go through 4 steps. And you're fighting the best of the best. So don't tell me that you know my son and that he's not a good boxer. Oh, it pisses me off.
Top lightweight contender Frank Martin added a harsh dose of realism to the conversation by warning both fighters about the dangerous risks of moving between weight classes. Having personally experienced the physical punishment and exhaustion that comes with elite competition, Martin explained that competing at an uncomfortable weight can quietly drain a fighter before they even realize what is happening.
I feel like, man, with this, man, fight at the weight you comfortable at. You know what I'm saying? Like, that weight shit is real. You know, you could be in there and you don't know until you in there. You know, like, that you was drained or whatever, you find out then. You know, if you ain't never experienced it, you'll find out. You know what I'm saying? When you in there, your legs might be tired or whatever, you know, you find out quick. But you gotta, you know, fight at the weight you comfortable at. You know, so.
Former world champion Rolando Romero introduced another fascinating angle into the debate by focusing less on hype and more on the cold physical realities of the matchup. Romero admitted that Stevenson possesses elite technical boxing skills and defensive mastery, but he also argued that Stevenson lacks the terrifying natural explosiveness and freak athletic gifts that make Garcia such a dangerous opponent.
But Shakur is an incredible boxer. But you're an incredible boxer. You're not a puncher, you know, but you're still an incredible boxer. So not everyone gets to punch hard. Not everyone gets this. Not everyone gets superhuman reflexes. Not everyone's super agile. Not everyone gets like a granite chin. Not, you know, you got to do with what you got.
Former champion Gary Russell Jr. focused heavily on the psychological side of the matchup, explaining that Garcia would likely enter the fight with absolutely no respect for Stevenson's punching power. Russell acknowledged that Garcia carries explosive force capable of doing real damage, but he emphasized that the key question is whether Garcia actually understands how to close distance safely against such a skilled counterpuncher without walking directly into traps.
Ryan has the ability to hurt him. I believe, just like you mentioned with Shakur, Ryan won't respect Shakur's power. And he does have the ability to hurt Shakur. The difference is, I think Shakur...
Can he hit him?
That's going to be the issue. How you attack and when you attack. That's going to be the issue. Just like with Andy Hiroka, the same way with my younger brother competing against Andy Hiroka, it had to be a strategy. Just like Teofimo Lopez. He didn't know how to properly close the distance, and when he did close the distance, he didn't know what to do once he did close the distance.
I'm here.
You feel me? So that's really the difference.
Going even deeper into the strategic chess match, Gary Russell Jr. warned fans not to oversimplify the challenge of facing an elite defensive technician like Stevenson. According to Russell, merely targeting the body or applying pressure is not enough to break someone operating at that level.
I believe the body is important within
every fight. Yeah.
I think what's important is actually the strategy of it, not just saying go to the body.
Right.
You have to really understand the sport to really do this shit.
I think kind of
I ain't trying to get y'all too much.
Yeah,
it was too big.
Former world champion Sean Porter painted a vivid picture of Stevenson's almost supernatural defensive awareness, comparing his reactions to an arcade game where he sees punches before they are even thrown. Porter explained that Stevenson's defensive radar allows him to process attacks at an extraordinary speed.
I get the analogy of like if you play a arcade shooting game, right? And you got the circles that pop up everywhere, and you gotta go like that and hit them all, right? For Shakur, he sees it all before it happens. So he sees it, boom. He sees it, boom. To me, the body's important because now you got his eyes doing this. You got to get this kid doing this with his eyes. As long as he can look at you like this and just find it, that's all day and all night for Shakur.
All you gotta do is break his control.
Yeah, you just gotta break his control. And how do you break his control? To me, controlling the distance.
My little brother for Andy Heroic.
Yeah.
The discussion then shifted toward the deeper reasons behind Stevenson's frustrating dominance inside the ring. Gary Russell Jr. argued that Stevenson's true genius is not limited to basic boxing fundamentals or defensive movement alone. Instead, his greatest strength lies in his eerie ability to dictate the psychological tempo of a fight while simultaneously controlling every inch of ring geography.
I personally think that Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson need to fight next.
Really?
You got two fighters that just did what they did.
That'd be a good fight. I still slightly, in my opinion, I would still favor Shakur. Because I feel as though he does control the revenue. That's what I think his skill is, honestly. That's what I think his skill is. Like, his skill isn't like his boxing ability. His skill is, a lot of times when you watch people fight, you can see that one fighter is in more control of what's going on in that ring. He maintains a certain level of control with his distance and range. I believe that's what is.
In his final and most chilling assessment, Gary Russell Jr. pointed out that Garcia's unusual height and long reach for the division create a dangerous problem Stevenson will constantly have to solve. Every time Stevenson attempts to step inside and land offense, he risks walking through a deadly line of fire. Russell dramatically concluded that while Stevenson may only be capable of damaging Garcia's pride, one serious mistake from Stevenson could allow Garcia to physically break him apart with his explosive power.
That?
Yeah.
Then we got something different. I don't know if Ryan will be able to break it.
Yeah.
But I think he's tall enough, and he got enough reach, whereas though Shakur is going to have to close the distance to actually hit Ryan. You know what I'm saying? He got to cross that line of fire to hit Ryan, versus he just making them come into him and he just pop shot.
Yeah.
And Ryan got some pop. If Ryan touches his ass, he got the ability to hurt Shakur. I don't think Shakur has the ability to hurt him.
Yeah. Damn.
He can hurt his pride.
Yeah.
But I don't think he can physically.
Rising phenom Kermel Moton also shared his thoughts on the potential showdown, speaking from first-hand experience gained while training and sparring around elite lightweight talent. Although Moton admitted Garcia absolutely has the kind of power needed to shock the world with one punch, he still heavily favors Stevenson overall because of his superior ring intelligence, composure, and nearly untouchable defense.
And I think I won't say it's too much. Ryan has surprised us before, but I feel like I'll take Shakur in that fight for sure. Shakur got way better boxing IQ and way too good a defense for the stuff that Ryan will try to pull. I feel like I'll definitely take Shakur in that fight.
As this explosive rivalry continues escalating, the entire boxing world remains on high alert for what could become one of the most fascinating tactical wars in recent memory. Both fighters have crossed the point of simple promotion and entered a level of genuine hostility fueled by personal insults, public challenges, and non-stop debate over weight classes, styles, and legitimacy. The stakes could not be higher. The legacy of both superstars now hangs in the balance, knowing that a single mistake inside the ring could permanently change the direction of their careers forever. Fans are witnessing a rare moment in boxing where authentic hatred collides with elite-level talent, creating the perfect formula for an unforgettable classic.